I did have success, but I also had a few really large failures where investors are more focused on return. So I thought, I'm not really cut out for this. And I found working with seniors. I have a whole system that I built for seniors where it's a lot of education and getting them sort of on the path to whatever the next stage in life is.
Well, it's all about building a system and making it work.
It's not always a fast process. Sometimes it can take years.
Hi, I'm Maude Leger, and I'm on a mission to empower realtors with cutting-edge insights, success stories, and actionable strategies from the top minds in real estate. Welcome back to Sold Right Away, and in this episode series, we solve real estate marketing challenges in real time. And that's why today I've brought on Maggie Abril. She's been a realtor for 21 years. She went from dealing with investors to seniors, and by really focusing on a specific niche and having systems and procedures in place, she grew to the success that she is today. Let's get to my chat with Maggie. Hi Maggie, thanks for joining us on the episode today. Tell us, how did you arrive to real estate?
Hi, thank you for having me. So I've been a realtor since 2004, and I actually started in real estate because I was an investor first, and for a few years prior to that. But I got into real estate because I sort of wanted to get the firsthand knowledge of all the real estate stuff. So I got my license. And that's how I grew my real estate investment business. And only after that sort of became established did I say, okay, I want to help people with real estate since I'm familiar with it now and I know what I'm doing. I want to help people buy and sell real estate as well. And since I like working with seniors, that's where I specialize. But I mean, we sell real estate to everybody.
To everybody, but seniors is what you specialize in. Why is that? What is your approach with seniors? How do you?
I have a whole system that I built for seniors where it's a lot of education and getting them sort of on the path to whatever the next stage in life is. And the follow-up system sort of prepares them what you have to do to prepare the home. And I don't know, it just sort of, I landed there and I enjoy it.
Well, it's all about building a system and making it work. So you did that. And so I guess it's a lot about pre-listing information and education, like helping them through the process prior to, right?
That's what it is. So yes, so we do have sort of monthly newsletters where there's a lot of information about how to get the house ready, what to look for, what not to look for, so that when they actually are ready to do something, they get the most money and it's a smoother, easier transaction. We also have a seminar, which is coming up at the end of the month, sort of for similar education session.
Nice. Love it. Love it. So you have a system for touching base, but you also have a system for your marketing, like your seminar, like you say, and keeping in touch throughout the year, I'm assuming.
That's right. That's right. So yes, we do have scheduled phone calls, mail outs. We offer, like are you interested how much your neighbors are selling for? So you can kind of gauge on your own how much your home could be worth. But also what to focus on and not focus on when selling. So like, what are buyers looking for? What do they want? What are they willing to pay the most money for?
I love it. I love it. A lot of agents get sometimes scared of creating system because it's overwhelming, right? There's so much. What was your process for you? How did you start and then build a little bit at the time, or?
It took time. Definitely it took time. I just found that it was so hard for me at the beginning to sort of have the names of the people on a piece of paper and then remembering when to call them, what I promised them. I'm going to call you in a week or 2 weeks or whatever. So I definitely had to use some computer help there and establish everything so that it would help me stay more organized and help me keep my word.
Nice. I love it. All about keeping your word.
Yeah, yes. I find that it makes things easier. And there's a
Mhm.
process. So definitely the getting people from the beginning to actually selling and getting their money and moving to wherever they're moving next,
Yeah.
it works. But it's not, in my case anyways, it's not always a fast process. Sometimes it can take years.
Yeah. So again, a senior's moving might take years of planification, but you're right there when they're ready.
Yes, and a lot of them, a lot of people have been in their home for like 40, 50 years. So they
Mhm.
haven't really been in the real estate market. So they're not familiar with what it looks like today.
Nice, nice. Okay, because I guess also too now that makes me think a lot of agents will focus on first time buyers, but for you, it's not really a first time buyer, but it's a long time buyer or seller. They bought 40 years ago, so they would almost fall into the qualification of a first time buyer today.
Absolutely, because it's the real estate changed so much from
Mhm.
like, let's say the 1980s, like computers and, all the communication, the pictures, everything is totally different.
Expectations, yeah.
So the marketing today is completely unknown. So when I speak to the people, like, for the pictures, so the pictures look good on the internet, and they're like, well, we don't have to do anything to the house. Our house is beautiful. And I'm like, well, for the pictures, it is sometimes better to just maybe eliminate some stuff so that pictures come out better
Yeah.
online.
Yeah, totally. That's an interesting point. Very interesting.
Great. Yes. But
Mm. Yeah.
it tends to, like, it's important, right? Because at the end of the day, we're all working towards the same goal of getting the place sold, moving them to the next place, getting them the most money that a buyer's willing to pay, and having the process smooth as possible.
Nice. Love it. Love it. If you circle back thinking about like starting almost 20 over 20 years ago in real estate, just
21,
over
yes,
21,
21.
what would you say was a defining moment for you where you said to yourself like this is it. This is what I'm going to do.
I think my failures,
Mm,
because I started in investment real
yeah.
estate. So I do remember that that's where I started with investors and going with investors and kind of trying to help them buy investment properties in Hamilton. So I did have success, but I also had a few really large failures where investors are more focused on return,
Mm,
not necessarily emotionally involved in a purchase. So a few deals didn't come together where what I thought that they should and could. So I thought, I'm not really cut out for this. I need to find something that I feel really passionate about. And I found working with seniors that
yeah.
it just brought more pleasure and satisfaction.
That's such an interesting point going from investors non-emotional to seniors, which is loaded with emotions in a
Absolutely. Yes.
transaction.
Yes. Definitely.
What do you think is a key strength that you bring to the table when dealing with your transactions?
I like customer service. I find customer service is very, very important because I do recognize how important a sale of a home is to everybody. It is huge. It affects every stage of their life and every aspect. So being there, having a process, having the answers and what other people have done in similar situation, I find it's helpful.
Nice. Yeah. And what is the key to your success thinking about all of that together?
I just find that I like to listen to people, and I
Mm,
like to have those conversations and help people get to wherever it is that their next chapter in life is.
love it. Love it. Bringing the emotion, the customer service, the relationship, and then the listening to them, guiding
Yes,
them through.
and for me that is way more fulfilling.
Mm,
Knowing that I helped somebody that didn't really know exactly what to do to get them to where they know they should be. Um, for me, that is very satisfying.
yeah.
And
Great.
it doesn't feel like I'm working.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. something you can do for the next 20, 40 years and still
Well,
enjoy.
30, yes, for sure. Definitely. Yes.
Love it. When you're thinking of your marketing, you touch on doing the phone calls, the systems, the events. What do you think is working really well for you in terms of marketing?
I actually think it's a combination of all of them
Mhm.
because different people reply and respond to different types of marketing. Some people are texters and they just want to text, whereas others, they like to have the conversations over the phone. Then staying in touch with the mail outs, I find it helps because when I call them, I kind of say, well, I'm the one that sends you the orange newsletters, and it automatically, we're on the same page. So it definitely kind of helps build the relationship.
Yeah, triggers them to memorize something else they got from you. So you're
Yes.
touching them on different mediums. I love it.
Hmm.
What would you say is a challenge for me for you in terms of marketing?
Absolutely staying current and figuring out what people want. Um, I always like to explore new things and see new things, but at the end of the day, slow and steady, kind of continue with the same business is what I find works the best.
Yeah, doing one thing and then implementing it one at a time instead of getting overwhelmed and not doing anything, right?
Yes, and like one thing, but doing it well and following through. I find the follow through is very important too. Like if people request some kind of information, it's important to provide it to them and
Mhm.
kind of keeping the word and customer service.
Yeah, love it. When you're thinking of marketing again, what would be a frustration, something that you're not like getting through or you're frustrated with pretty much?
So I find that like right now, what is happening is with all the computers, sometimes you know what happened? My phone shows up as spam and people don't quite know what to do with it. So I am trying to figure out a way so
Mhm.
that it does not show up like that because it's not a familiar phone number sometimes to the other side. So it sort of shows like, oh, this is, we don't know this number. So we're going to mark it as spam, and we are working around it, but I find it very challenging.
So technology would be the challenge right now for you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so figuring out how to not make your phone show up as scam, register it, I guess, from your website to a bunch of different directories. Uh,
Yes.
Local would be work, but also using the same number to call probably would help.
Yes. So definitely. So it's like a new problem that I didn't even know that I had. So now I
Nice.
just have to figure out how to make it so that it's no longer a problem.
I love it. I love it. So you're aware and you're putting the steps and the efforts towards fixing it.
Working on it. It's hasn't been fixed yet, I'm told. So working on it.
Nice. And then what is something that's working really well for you, like the most efficient piece of marketing that you do?
Well, our newsletters, which is what we mail out every month. So I write it myself and I print it. It's on an orange colored paper. So that's kind of how we connect everything together. And that's a way of staying in touch with the customers. There's things about real estate, but there's also contests and sort of information about interesting topics that are happening. So I find that that is working really, really well.
Nice. Very good. And we talked about technology a little bit. In terms of social media, what is your best tactic for social media?
Social media is actually somewhere where I'm struggling.
Okay.
I am there, but I find I'm having hard time keeping sort of up. It keeps changing quite a lot and quick. So what worked like a month ago doesn't quite work today. So I find that I'm struggling because I'm not keeping as current with it
Yeah.
as I probably should.
Okay. And then I guess also your audience, being seniors, even though you're working with everybody, the best way would be to find out where they are and how to reach them. And also maybe think, because you're very niche, but also think about maybe targeting in your social media children of seniors in your messaging so you reach them and then they refer you.
Yes, so that is also the next step.
Nice.
I find because of it's the target age, so I find Facebook is where we get the best return
Nice.
versus sort of like Instagram or TikTok.
Yeah.
Um, Working on it. It's work in progress. Yes,
I love
it's
it.
work in progress. Aware, but it has to all be implemented. And I find for me personally, because it does take a little bit, it does kind of escape from me. By the time I'm ready, like it's
Yeah.
on to something else. So
Yes, I
I
totally
got to be
get.
quicker on that.
Yeah, love it, love it. Thinking about leveraging, what can you leverage in your business to help that a little bit bring more results for you, I guess
Hmm.
would be main
Definitely.
point. Yeah. What are your income generating activity in your business? Like, where do you spend the most energy that you know you get the most return from?
So definitely getting listings and preparing listings for sale. Um, Seniors are not always ready to put their house on the market. So getting the house ready and helping them. And that does include help with decluttering or help with a handyman to come and maybe fix all the little things that need to be fixed. Sometimes it's painting. So I coordinate all of that. I help them get the trades in, pick the colors, help them kind of get rid of stuff if needed, the staging, so that when the house actually goes on the market, it's ready for the new
Yeah.
buyer.
Nice. So getting more listings. And how do you get more listings? What do you do to get more listings?
Right, right. Isn't that what every realtor wants? More listings.
Yes.
Um, just back to marketing
Yeah.
and reaching out, seminars, staying in touch with the current people that we've helped in the past. So referrals is what gives us and working the database, because we do have quite a large database, and reaching out and offering different information or services is what drives the business.
Going back to your process, which is fantastic. Love it.
Yes, yes.
Uh, what is the best advice you've ever received in your career so far?
That's an interesting question because it's to be genuine. Just be
Oh,
who you are. Um, that's sort of the basis that I go to, and I stick to that part, and it seems to be working.
nice. I love it. Which brings you from the investor side, which is like a completely different world, to now being like, hey, I'm just going to be genuine and be myself and succeed. I
I
love it.
prefer the sort of the feel touchy feely
Yeah.
conversations because I find by learning as much as I can about my clients is the best way I can help them.
Yeah.
So I do spend time asking quite a lot of questions about where we're going, how important is it, quick, would you prefer a quick sale with less money, maybe longer sale if we prepare the house a little bit more, but with the knowledge that you're going to get more money, and how can I actually help you get there?
Nice. I love it. Working backward from what the goal is.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, definitely.
So everyone has their own definition of success. How do you define success for yourself?
Um, well, I established that a few years ago. So at the beginning of each year, I plan my year ahead.
Love it.
And the first parts that go there is spending time with my family
Mm.
and traveling, because those are the two things that I like. If I can travel with my family, that's a bonus. So I schedule those things first. And then from there, I go about because spring market is more time consuming and I
Yeah.
need to be present than,
Mhm.
let's say, the January.
Yeah.
So I plan around so that when I know ahead I can schedule the marketing so that it goes out at the right times. And having that personal time, I find that that gives me all the energy I need so that I can like work with clients and
Yeah,
get
they
them
go
where they need to go.
totally go hand in hand to have your refueling time to be able to tackle everything that's happening in the real estate.
I find it's a balance because as a realtor, I mean, the late evenings, weekends, so it does take quite a bit of time. There's no set hours. So when a deal is taking place, I need to be present and I need to make sure that everything is attended to. So having this balance of, okay, but I also need to recharge so that I can be there for the next person is important.
Yeah. And I guess with your experience, 21 years, you know a little bit, even though you can't predict when are the busiest months, when do you need to be full focused and working really hard versus the time where you can pre-book your vacation and your time off.
Yes, the experience definitely comes in handy, I have to
Yeah.
say, yes. Because I do want to make sure that like I'm there for my clients. I don't burn out.
Yeah.
I want to give them the best possible outcome.
Outcome. Yeah. So that also they can refer you and be satisfied with your business. It's fulfilling for you and fulfilling for them. So that
Yes,
works.
it's like a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, totally.
Hmm.
If there was one piece of advice that you could leave for all realtors out there, what would it be?
That's a very interesting question. Um, I think having a system is
Yes.
important and being organized and recognizing that this is a business and not just like a job where you go 9 to 5 and then that's it. And know that you're important and that these clients' houses are extremely important. This is like the biggest investment of people's lives. So you have to recognize that this is so important to them. This that they don't do this on a regular basis. This is like twice in a lifetime kind of event for them, and it's extremely important. You
Yeah.
want to make sure you're doing a good job.
Yeah, you touched on a lot of few points there, like making sure you like don't take for granted how important this transaction is for them. Because sometimes if you do 20 transactions a year, it's just like any other transaction to you, but not to them. You're right. It's important that to keep that in mind.
I definitely think that realtors can sometimes kind of look at it from their perspective and not recognize how important it is for the client
Yeah.
that selling their home
Yeah. Yeah. And
or
you,
buying their new one. I mean
yeah,
that's
true.
also and what do they need and
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Your experience speaks loud here. And then you also touched point about systems, how important they are, how important it is to build them, have them, and follow them.
Yes, but also it's important to find a mentor, somebody that will guide you and answer the questions that when you kind of don't know what to do next. So I think that that has helped a lot as well.
Yeah.
And I think that that is needed for younger realtors that are just getting into the business.
I love it. I love it. Very cool. Before we end today, you talked about getting your goals, well, your vacation plan at the beginning of the year. What is next for you in the second half of this year? What's coming up and how will you end this year?
Well, as you know, I have my own brokerage, so
Yeah.
we are looking to grow the brokerage.
Nice.
We do need realtors that to help us to navigate our database and grow it and get more clients. We are busy,
Yeah.
so we're kind of getting to a point where we need more, and that it will be my focus to while growing still ensure that we're doing great customer service for all the clients.
Yeah, love it. And how do you get more agents for your business? Where do you get them from?
Well, mostly word of mouth
Yeah.
is important. So I tend to just tell everybody what my plans are and just ask people, talk to people.
Yeah, have your vision clear and ask. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah. So, how do people track you down online? What's your website, or where do we find you?
Maggie the Realtor.
Okay, cool.
Uh,
Maggie the Realtor.
Maggie the Realtor. That's the one. We are working on the new marketing for the company, and that will be coming out soon. It's in progress.
Nice. Love it. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for joining me today, but also sharing all that experience and valuable tips that you have for realtors. I think that's awesome.
Well, thank you for inviting me, and thank you for organizing this. It's my pleasure.
Thank you for tuning in to Sold Right Away. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you're ready to take your business to the next level, visit us at Sold Right Away for more resources and support. Until next time, keep winning and keep growing.